the weekly throwdown. I am DJ Delz. Alongside me, we have Nate Serpent. Say what's up to the people.
Hello. And
we also have got none other than Franchise Kicks. Clint, what's going on? How are you?
Doing good, everybody. It's going to be a good podcast today with lots of Enzo and Cass kind of information. So stay tuned.
And we are the new members of the Singh Brothers. Thank you guys for sending us these T-shirts. We are unofficial members of the modern day Maharaja. Am I saying it right?
Close enough.
Yeah, we have the fan club going on. We're gonna start a fan club. So we want to talk about Enzo and Cass Part 2 at Raw. Is that what we're gonna start with? Take it away. Take it away, Clint. Start it off.
Enzo and Cass Part 2 had its ups and its downs. It made me love again. Then it made me hate love again. So pretty much, as everybody knows, Enzo, he actually did a very, very good job for his promo. Like, it was just like you could feel his heart crying pretty much. And
it was impressive.
And it was, I mean, it was a hell of a promo. Awesome. And of course, Cass, you know, he comes out and 10% of me was like, please. But 90% of me is like, nah, you can't undo the big boot that Cass did last week. I just killed it. Done. And they made up. And I've talked to you two guys and other people. It's like we all were just waiting for another big boot, for a clothesline, for anything, because Enzo and Cass is dead. And it still breaks my heart. And I'm still pissed about it. They should have got tag team gold at least once, if not twice.
At least once. I think it's ridiculous. Such a waste of something good, you know?
It was a beautiful thing.
And they got a lot of people because I thought, like me personally, I felt that it was going to happen where the swerve was going to happen when when they were hugging each other. I thought that Big Cass was just going to just throw him, you know, like just launch him across the ring. But nothing happened, and they made it all the way to the end. And I kind of was just like, okay, maybe this is actually happening. I know a lot of people don't like to admit that they got caught up in it, but I kind of was beginning to really feel like this was going to happen. And all of a sudden, as soon as I felt like it was going to happen, then bow, it happened. And I was just like, mother, you know, like, damn, they got me. Like, I was telling myself, no way this is going to happen. And then, you know, when you see them hugging and him, like, they were kind of like agreeing, and I felt like maybe they were listening to the audience and they realized they messed up, that this was stupid. They have more room to grow as a tag team, but wasn't the case. And I loved after Big Cass went to, what's his name with the tattoos, the announcer dude? Corey Graves. And he went at Corey Graves. You know, he's really coming in like the real bad guy now, you know. It was fantastic when he went at Corey Graves.
So I think I really did like the Corey Graves thing, but it's kind of weird that they're involving him in like multiple angles, it looks like. Like, there's got to be something extra going on with Corey Graves. Like, but anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
Trying to take his career to like a whole nother level, you know, because people really seem to like Corey Graves.
I think he'd be a great manager.
Yeah. And we need more managers.
We definitely need that. But I really thought that they were going to get back together, and I was not happy about that because I don't like it when they make this decision. You made a decision. We all hate it, but the decision was made. And it really seemed like they were going to flip-flop on us. And I was like, come on, you can't do that. You really got to stick to it. So I thought that him throwing Enzo all the way down the ramp basically was great. I think they could have maybe made it a little bit more impactful, like you could throw him off the top of the ramp, like
they could have put pins, like a bowling ball, like they could have used Enzo as a bowling ball, because it was like he tossed him like it was a bowling alley.
I don't know what they're gonna do, like, because they can't feud Enzo and Cass because there's no universe where Enzo is competitive.
Yeah.
So
unless it's like sizes, that's what made them work too. It was like it was really entertaining to see like the big dude with the small dude. And
it it's just weird. It's a weird dynamic now because Enzo has every reason now, they're making this like it's some kind of blood feud, but they can't. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I
know
this will work. Completely. Like, it'll be good promos, but then the matches will all be squash matches, and it's ridiculous. It's a waste of time.
So what do you think WWE is going to do with this situation? Any of you guys? Do you have anything?
I have no idea what the direction is for this. I don't there's no point in what Nate said. It's just going to be a squash match. I mean, there's no point to this unless there's some grand scheme of things that will wow us at the very end or something. I have no idea.
They're going to have to pull someone into this, which I would like to see Big Show, because I think that Big Show and Enzo has some kind of dynamic together, which we were talking about a little bit last week. So I think that would be appropriate. What do you think, Nate?
As much as it would be enjoyable to see this Big Show Enzo thing, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be, and I really hate to say this, they're going to try to bolster 205's Live's roster by adding Enzo to it. I think that's what's coming.
I think it would help 205 Live a lot. But I don't know if they would do that.
Because right now, all they have is Neville and Austin Aries. No one else is really interesting. Tozawa is getting there because of this ridiculous Titus brand thing that's going on.
Well, you know what? The Titus brand thing is kind of putting him over.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I cannot believe I'm saying the Titus brand is putting him over. But, we've seen a lot of crazy things. We've seen LeVar Ball, take his shirt off on Raw 2 this week. So anything is possible. What do you guys think about that?
Oh my God. First off, you got to give props to The Miz. Because I guarantee you they had a segment scripted. And LeVar, as soon as he got down there, it was out the window. And Miz had to, really keep this together the best he could.
I feel like this was really last minute.
It was really last minute.
But it feels like it was really last minute because I just don't see how Vince gave an okay, with those T-shirts everywhere, him branding those T-shirts that much. I mean, it was such a huge advertisement for that brand, the Big Baller brand. I guarantee you they made sales. They definitely did. People may disagree with me, but I mean, think about how many people watch WWE Raw, and they're really at an all-time low, I'm pretty sure, on their ratings too. The ratings have been really bad lately. Not even lately, for a long time, for probably the past year, if not longer. But they really were promoting the hell out of that brand, right?
Oh yeah, it was everywhere. It was ridiculous.
It was. I mean, didn't they have mannequins? Were there mannequins with the shit? And I thought that it was such a mess at one point, and LeVar just took over the whole thing. And I feel like they kind of just sent in Dean, okay, we need damage control. This has to stop.
Stop that.
Even Dean had the shirt on.
Yeah, I mean, he took his shirt off and he was doing some kung fu. He had his hands flat, right? What is that thing he does? Even when he runs into the ring, he does this weird thing with his hands when he runs. He's like this. If you watch, his hands are like that. It's pretty funny.
Like a praying mantis, how they have those really long arms. That's what the dude looks like a praying mantis, I think.
And when he was first walking, it was almost like Vince. You know how Vince does like that, like outrageous walk where everything's exaggerated and everything. At first, he was doing that, and then he just took over and jetted on some John Cena stuff. It was funny, and then he didn't even land in right, and he tried to like make himself look good, so he extended his leg up and tried to like pose, but it just didn't look right. A lot of people can't stand Lavar. You know, people either love him or they hate him.
But I bet they watched.
But yeah, they did watch. And a lot of people that don't watch wrestling watch too, because they wanted to see Lavar. Because he's freaking, even if you don't like him, he's entertaining. A lot of people don't like him. They feel like he's kind of like, you know, kind of screwing up his kid's career by talking so wildly and everything. What do you guys feel about people that say that? Are you one of those people, or you kind of look at him in a different aspect? Nate.
You see, at first I thought it was a little outlandish. Now I just think he's a marketing genius. He's on the longest running episodic show in history, WWE Raw. He's already transcending his sport into other sports in radio and entertainment. They talk about Lavar on Everyday Struggle. They talk about Lavar on ESPN. He's on WWE. Like
everything,
everywhere.
Every kind of radio, Z100, pop radio.
He's everywhere.
How do you feel about this man, Clint?
LeVar Ball, he reminds me, people who are old enough of back in the mid-90s with Tiger Woods and his dad, Earl Woods. Earl was like just like how LeVar Ball is now. He was very into Tiger's career. Like, had to say so for Nike. He instructed what Tiger would wear, what his brand was going to look like, his logo that he had. Earl reminds me of LeVar, and Earl didn't go too well. People got tired of him very quickly. And LeVar, I see, is kind of the same thing. He's annoying. He needs to get out of his son's life and live his own life. His career in the basketball sucked. And so he's trying to relive what he wanted through his kids, but he's just going to end up with their kids getting pissed off, messed up, hate their dad. And yes, marketing wise, I guess it's good because there's no such thing as bad publicity, but there's a thing called just being fucking annoying. And that's what he is.
Yeah, because as I was saying, there's two different type of people. There's people that find him entertaining. They think he's a marketing genius. And then there's a lot of people that also feel the way you just said. I mean, literally exactly like you just said, that, you know, this guy's trying to live his dreams through his kids. And I see both ways. Like, I totally get how people would say that. I mean, like, he goes and he takes over everything, you know, when he's on TV. But if you look at his kids, I feel like he may be opening like major things like down the line that like that we've never seen before when it comes to like an NBA player coming into the game. Yeah, he doesn't have the big Nike brand like behind him or nothing like that, but I have a funny feeling, man. People are buying those T-shirts. I don't know. Do you guys think people are buying these T-shirts? Maybe not.
I'm not buying one.
I'm not
Hell
either.
no.
I mean, if I got one for free, I would love to wear one. But I'm not paying. I don't know how much this is. I heard it's $100 for a T-shirt, and I don't think I've ever paid $100 for a T-shirt. Oh, Bape, I have. So maybe I'm a victim of, you know, just picking my poison of something that's expensive, that's ridiculous to buy. You know, but regardless, I feel like they're up to something. You know, like in a positive way. I hope it ends being positive. For the sake of this kid, he's young. How old is the dude that signed to the Lakers, Lonzo? Is he in his? He's like 21, or is he younger than that? Do we know? Or?
I think he's 19.
He's younger than that, yeah.
Wow.
He played for UCLA for only one season, I think, right?
I think so.
So he's like 19, 20 at the latest.
So he's kind of young, and like a lot of these stages they're being put on, they're probably really kind of intimidated by it maybe too. So the father coming in and talking for them, like even when you watch them on WWE, Lonzo seemed really kind of just like a little shyish, no? Or you guys didn't see that?
Oh, yeah.
I just think he's like really chill. I think he understands the plan. His dad is like, okay, let's just talk in wrestling terms. His dad is like the Paul Heyman. He does all the talking.
Yeah.
And the kids are just reaping the benefits from it. He basically willed everything into existence. His brand, his kids going to UCLA, his kids going to the NBA. He said what team he's going to get drafted to. And it's all come true. He's
true.
like the Conor McGregor of basketball right now.
Like if his stuff wasn't coming true, then I'd be like, this guy's an idiot. But, you know, and some people are still calling him an idiot. But how much longer till people stop calling him an idiot? That's the question. Like he was on
call him an idiot.
Huge publicity, T-shirts everywhere promoting the shit. You know, you had Dean Ambrose walking with the T-shirt also. I don't know, man. It's time. Only time will tell what's gonna happen with them. Also, the younger boy got in some heat because he dropped the N-bomb.
I heard that.
Twice.
That's the same.
Twice, yeah, twice.
Yeah, he was like kind of just hyping his pops up, like to beat up the Miz, and I thought whatever, like, you know, that kid is so young. He's probably so geeked out for like the fact that he is on that stage right there. Like, then can you imagine being that young and being alive on WWE Raw on Miz TV? That kid got to be like 13, 14 years old, geeked out of his mind, just so hyped. And then seeing his dad there, like, I mean, of course, it's not appropriate for live TV. And I'm sure WWE was pretty damn pissed about it. But
they were incredibly pissed about it. Before the show even ended, they released a statement about this. Yes, it was nuts.
They released a statement. We apologize for
our guest. This view is not representative of our brand and blah blah blah. It was like, oh my god.
We apologize about that N-bomb drop. That's great, man. I mean, the kid was having fun, you know. It is what it is. I mean, I don't think nothing of it, really. I mean, if the Miz dropped the N-bomb, then we'd have another issue, I think, you know. But, you know, what was funny, too, was what's the younger boy's name? It's something.
Lamelo.
Okay, Lamelo. There was one point where Lamelo, he went up toward Miz, and it was kind of like he like walked behind him. His father was like, "Go get him," or something like that, and he was just standing there like goofy, like just happy to be here, laughing. And then Miz was kind of just organizing and orchestrating everything. He was like, "No, I don't want your kids. I want the big mouth right here." He was calling him the big mouth. I think that Miz like was on that whole angle, kind of what Clint was saying, you know, how he's always running his mouth, and he's like on that wave, you know. And when Lonzo took his shirt off, when Lavar, took his shirt off, I was dying after the Miz, because
that was amazing.
First, he was kind of like, "I want that belt. You see that belt right here?" He was like pointing at the belt, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is getting so good," because you know it was totally off script. Like, there's no way in hell they were going there with it. He was literally trying to challenge him for the belt.
We're not pulling a Vince Russo tonight.
Yeah, it was so funny. Like, a lot of people hated it. I mean, a lot of people. I listened to some of my favorite wrestling podcasts, and none of them liked it. Shout out to Don Tony, Kevin Castle, Wrestling Soup. Love those guys. They didn't like it, and I could totally see what they were saying, but I follow basketball. I watch, you know, First Take and all this stuff. So I've been following Lavar and Lonzo, and I found it highly entertaining. You know, I think it had to be if you really follow and how you feel about Lavar. Like, do you find him funny and entertaining, or do you think he's a stunad, you know? So that's really my breakdown on it.
Lavar is like that bad movie you watch that's so bad that it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's so bad it's good, right?
All right, let's talk about something else now.
Go ahead, take over the wheel, boy. What do we got next?
Let's talk about how in the world the Samoa Joe keep getting one up on Brock Lesnar in every bit, every week. It seems like.
Clint, go ahead. Take that.
Oh, I didn't hear. I think I took off my headphones, or somebody outside cutting the grass or something is like loud as shit.
Shit, I even hear it.
Yeah, I actually heard that too. Just
it must be my neighbor.
He was just talking about how Samoa Joe is getting a one-up on Brock Lesnar over and over again as every week goes by. How do you feel about all that?
They don't want this to be a squash match, like they're trying to do kind of like with the Goldberg thing where Goldberg got a 3-up on Brock and then Brock squashed him. So they're just trying to build this up more and more as the weeks go by to actually make us believe that Samoa Joe has a chance, but dude's got no chance in hell. I mean, especially like it's Brock Lesnar. Dude's a real fighter. So, I mean, just making Samoa Joe look strong is just to help propel him once him and Brock are done to take him to his next feud as the strong guy who almost beat Brock, but became close. So it's just to help his character. That's what I think.
He really yoked him up, right? On Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
He had him, his face was so red. He really got the face so red on Brock Lesnar, man. Like I think though, do you think that they're gonna have Samoa win though?
Oh God, I hope not.
I would love it if Samoa Joe won, but there's no way in hell. Here's what's gonna happen. You ready?
Let's go.
You ready?
Let's go.
So, Joe, it's going to be a really, really good match. Joe is going to be like on the cusp. It's going to look like Joe is about to win, but Paul Heyman is going to interfere because the dynamic between Joe and Heyman is like, it's interesting. And that's what's going to cause that.
It's really interesting. Could you see this? Because it's bound to happen eventually. One of these days, and I'm really like going out there a little bit, but could you see Heyman turning on Brock Lesnar?
Absolutely. Yes, that would be
because
amazing.
They kind of hinted it in that first encounter where he was telling Samoa Joe was telling Paul Heyman, he was like, I want you to represent me. Remember when he was saying all that stuff in the ring?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the time where then he just grabbed him and he started whispering to him? He was like uncomfortably close to Paul Heyman in the corner and was like whispering all kinds of just crazy shit. So like maybe they'll do like kind of like what happened with Punk when Paul Heyman turned on Punk. Maybe Paul Heyman will turn on Brock Lesnar. Could happen. I would like to see that happen eventually. I don't know if it'll happen now, but that would be a way that Samoa Joe would win, but it wouldn't be a clean win where Brock, because I think Brock doesn't like to lose, So who knows? What do you guys think of that?
Well, the only thing with Brock is he sucks at promos. I mean, he's always been weak, and at this point in his career, towards the end of it, really, I mean, it would hurt him more to take Paul away since he's the microphone for Brock. But like, if Brock plans to take a leave for like another year or two, then I'd say, yeah, turn on Brock. Brock does his whatever he wants to do. Go fight in UFC again once his suspension is up for popping on a drug test, 2-year suspension, and have Paul turn on him then, so Brock's not there for a year or two and it won't really hurt him. And then when he comes back, whatever they do with Brock. But right now, it would hurt Brock and his brand that he has.
Yeah, because a lot of people I think are turned off about that whole drug thing with him going back to UFC. Do you agree with that or no?
Turned off just because he popped hot?
Yeah. Just because he's kind of cheating, right? I mean,
I actually listened to a podcast. It was with Ryback that he did recently, how he talked about in WWE only the full timers get drug tested, part
I heard
timers
that
are
podcast.
not.
Yeah.
And that was he was pissed because he was like, if Vince had to test, he'd pop. Triple H, he'd pop. Brock, he'd pop. And he was going off about how that's BS, that how he said he never failed a drug test once, and Vince and the other smart heads want to be totally clean, but themselves are probably juicing. And so as Brock being a part-timer, he's drug test free, which isn't right. But if he was drug tested, he probably would have been popped, 2 or 3 times? So, I mean, you pop in the UFC, which I'm sure their tests are a lot more stringent than WWE tests, since the UFC fights are sanctioned by, states and whatever they're sanctioned by.
And at the end of the day, UFC is real fighting where you could really severely get hurt,
Oh, yeah. Because I remember, too, back whenever Brock popped, which is close to a year ago now, at least, that the people in the locker room were pretty pissed off about it, how there was a lot of heat on Brock for popping on the drug test, but he's still on Monday Night Raw and still on pay-per-views and still has the belt,
Yeah, same with Roman Reigns. They didn't do anything with him right away. And before I forget, when I was saying about UFC, how they get hurt, yes, I know that WWE, their talents can get hurt too. But, it's fake fighting, as Ryback would say on this podcast. Shout out to Ryback and what's the other guy? Pat Buck. Great show, by the way. Yeah. Great people, too. It is fake fighting at the end of the day with WWE versus with UFC. There's nothing fake about it. So what we know, Not to interrupt you. I just wanted to put that in there.
Oh, yeah, but if people want to know the truth about, like, behind the scenes when it comes to wrestling, watch Ryback, because he spills the beans on everything.
Oh yeah,
you learn everything about everybody. You learn that John Cena is the biggest piece of shit ever. Like you learn everything if you listen to Ryback and his podcast. Like, I've learned a lot about
his podcast is really good, really
good.
I've seen other people and they kind of like bury him. I don't know why people hate him so much. But he's really cool on the podcast, and I interviewed him. I was lucky enough to interview him, and he was really nice. He was, at first I thought he was a little Hollywood, because when I approached him, he was kind of like, I felt like he was blowing me off. He's like, not right now, but later, we'll do it later. So saying that is basically a polite way of saying no, But he was like, I'm going to do it later. He pointed to me like a little bit later. And I was like, all right, well, I didn't even talk to him. He said it to me. So it took a little bit of time that later. Like the later took like an hour to wait, but it was worth the wait. It was a good interview, I think. What are we going to talk about next? Let's talk about the Jinder Mahal match that will be taking place. Let's show the shirts, everyone. Jinder Mahal. The Jinder Mahal, what's it called? Punjabi cell?
Punjabi prison.
Whew. That thing looks crazy, no? Or you guys not into it? There's a lot of people that are not into it. I kind of like it, but let me know what you guys think. Not into it?
Because I was trying to think back for the last one with what's his face?
Talking about the Wyatt match with Randy Orton? The House of
I was talking about the first match. The first one. The Great Khali.
My computer's freezing up slowly.
Are you talking about the Great Khali?
Yes, how his match. I was trying to think back to what the match was. It was like a cage and a cage and a cage or something like that.
Yeah, so you have to climb out of one cage and climb out the other cage, and then climb out another cage.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. They should just do a steel cage match or anywhere falls match or something like that. But yeah, that Punjabi is kind of stupid. Personally, kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Steel cage.
I mean, a lot of people think it's stupid. I like it though. So, let me hear what you got to say, Nate. Do you like it, or you think it's stupid too?
I'm just tired
of these two.
They must have
right? I mean, I am tired of these two. Why couldn't we do the Punjabi match with someone else, right?
They probably paid Randy Orton a stupid amount of money to keep losing to this man.
Oh God, he's gonna lose again. You know that.
Oh
right?
Yeah. Clearly, he's gonna lose
win.
again.
Yeah. Randy,
we're gonna be
cannot
wearing
win.
these shirts forever.
Well, hopefully there won't be a new shirt coming anytime soon.
Yo, I bet you there's a new shirt coming at least after Clint fell off the call or the thing.
Shit. Keep going. He'll come back.
I bet you there's gonna be a new shirt coming up on the next pay-per-view because there's no way there's not gonna be, unless this shirt is selling so well that it's still on that incline. Then they'll put out a new shirt like, hey, here's the next Jinder shirt. Because that's what they do with all the stars.
Yo, imagine they come out with the Punjabi Cage t-shirt.
I might get that one.
Yeah, we have to get that, man. We got to get the Punjabi Cage t-shirt.
But it's on that 40% off.
I'm enjoying what's going on with this, but I'm tired of Orton. Like, I love Randy Orton, but it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm exhausted with him being like a champion or chasing to be the champion. I just want him to wrestle and have feuds.
You just get in a good program with another great wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
exactly.
You should just say, here, Randy, get with AJ Styles, have a great program, and just go with it.
I don't want to see that, but I do want to see others because we already got that, didn't we? Didn't we already get AJ Styles and Randy?
Night of Champions of last year, or Clash of Champions, because I was at that pay-per-view.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. How was it?
It was okay. It wasn't the best pay-per-view because was it New Day went up against Anderson and Gallows, and it should have been Enzo and Cass because back then, like last September, they were so damn hot, and they just, New Day buried way too many tag teams. But yeah, that match with AJ and Randy, I think that was a match where AJ was going to jump off the top rope and Randy went for the RKO, but AJ stopped himself. And remember the whole thing, or you probably don't?
No, I don't. I'm trying to. I'm like listening to the play-by-play though. I like it.
Where you know how he does his forearm, and Randy jumped up to catch him in the
RKO in the air. Yeah.
And then he just kind of fell onto his back. So he never got.
Yeah, it was like a little sloppy, right?
Yeah, so he never got AJ back for making him look bad. So I mean, there's still some unfinished business between those two from the pay-per-view from last September.
Mm-hmm. So that could happen, but isn't it what's brewing with AJ Styles on SmackDown now? Is it with Nakamura? What is going on with him?
They're making that look like that's going to happen, but I feel like that's a little bit of a ways off.
Uh-huh.
In the more immediate future, it's looking like Baron Corbin and Nakamura.
Okay. Now,
so AJ is kind of like just the guy on a show now.
All right, let's go to SmackDown right now. We're done with Raw, or is there? We already are at SmackDown.
Yeah, we're done with Raw.
We're all over the place, but that's what's great about it. It's natural.
So now, you don't want to talk about Rollins versus the Hawkins match? That was the highlight of the entire show last Monday night.
Refresh my memory. Talk to me.
I'm just bullshitting.
Okay.
I was like, I don't even remember this.
Oh my God. And you know what was funny? I remember that match that the announcers, they were kind of like putting over Kurt. Oh my God. Kurt hasn't looked this great in how long? This is the greatest he's ever performed, right? They're like trying to put him over.
it was awful.
I like Kurt Hawkins. What put me over with Kurt Hawkins was I'm so New York Hawkins. It's with Grimm's Toy Show on YouTube. You ever watch him on Grimm's Toy Show?
Yeah.
That's when I started really liking him. It's that show's so like big, you know. I think Ryback's gonna be on that show soon too, which is gonna be fun to watch.
On a GTS?
Yeah.
Because I know what Grimm was saying, he was going to try to get Oh, the VOD villain, not the one that's in, but the one that quit.
Did you see that episode where he was interviewing him?
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't he seem like a nice dude or no?
Yeah, he seemed really cool. Yeah.
And weren't we talking about it that there were so many rumors going on that he's like a complete douchebag?
Yeah.
But maybe he's just trying to clean things up right now too.
You know what though?
It's media.
You know what? I bet you, because there seems to be that whole, like with the whole JBL thing, it's like that whole bully mentality that they have within the company was put at the forefront. Maybe he's just not down with that, and that's why they're like slandering him and making him seem like he's a shitbag. Excuse my language. Don't me demonetize the video, YouTube, that I said shit twice now. But you know what I mean.
Should watch the last episode. I'm really trying to make sure that I don't swear, because the last episode, like once I start rolling and thinking things funny, like I just start cursing like a mad person, That Jinder Mahal with the what the hell is that?
The volcano.
With the volcano and the medicine for the back, for the acne.
Or whatever.
Clearasil was going to be a sponsor. He was going to get sponsored by Clearasil. I was dying, man. I was just going nuts on that thing. It was a good time, though. Definitely check out last week's episode. Guys, keep in mind, this is going to be every single week because we just love wrestling. It's just fun for us to kick back and reflect on Raw and SmackDown. So much stuff going on, and it's fun. We enjoy the conversation. We hope you guys do, too. If you are watching on YouTube live right now, please hit that thumbs up button, share it, tell a friend to watch. And if you're watching on the actual recording, then please also hit the thumbs up button. Leave your comments. If there's anything you guys want us to talk about that's wrestling related on the next show, maybe some history or who do we like the best or who with this or that, leave in the comments. We'll try to get to those questions too. Or if you're watching live, shoot some questions. We'll try to get to them also. And I totally just threw us off. Where are we at now?
SmackDown.
SmackDown. Okay. So I want to speak about this with SmackDown. What do you think is going to go on with John Cena next week? Me personally, I think he's going to enter the Battle Royal because there's a Battle Royal to be the, number one contender for the U.S. Championship? Is that how it's going down?
I think so.
So John Cena's got to win that, correct?
Probably.
Do you guys agree with me or no? Or do you think he's going to go for the big belt? But we already got something going on with Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal right now.
See, this is why I don't like John Cena, because he's the kind of guy who comes in and he's like, this needs to happen or else I'm not going to show up. John Cena's that guy now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more likely that they will make him the number one contender for the U.S. title and not go anywhere near the WWE Championship yet, because the rumor is, spoiler alert, YouTube world, that he's supposed to take the belt off Jinder at the Royal Rumble.
That'd be a long title reign.
That would
all the
be
way through next
long.
January.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But yeah, that's how I feel. They should not, either he's going to do that or he's going to come back and like a sort of like The Rock comes back and just does some dumb stuff and buries somebody for no reason. That's it. Like, because they said he's going to be there. They didn't say he's going to wrestle.
Yep. Yeah, because I don't mean to interrupt you, because they're posting this whole thing, free agent, correct? Like, have you guys seen?
Yeah.
So what does that exactly mean, free agent? Is he going to come in here like, I don't know if I'm going to stay here or if I'm going to go to Raw. I'm going to weigh things out. We don't know what John Cena is going to do, The thing I don't like about John Cena winning the SmackDown Royal Rumble thing is because I feel like AJ Styles should win that. And like when they were doing that interview backstage and he was like, oh, I could get into this Royal Rumble, right, boss? And he was like, of course you could get into it. Like, I'm thinking in my head, AJ Styles got to win this. Like, they keep putting him on the back burner and he's like he's the dude that runs the place, right? I thought, and he's super talented, he's super entertaining. I just feel like they're not utilizing this man, as far as his talent and his in-ring capability. You agree?
Agree.
I mean, and AJ versus Owens feud would be a pretty nice feud because they're both fantastic in the ring. But to see AJ with the U.S. belt at this point would be pointless. It doesn't help him. But for a feud with those two for 2 or 3 pay-per-views would bring out some pretty good matches.
I agree.
Between those two. But leave the belt on Owens. I mean, hell, for the rest of the year. Just keep pushing him.
I kind of don't like the fact that they split up the club. Like that's retarded to me. Excuse my language, not retarded. I know that offends people. Don't get offended by that. It's just stupid though, Nate, what do you got to say? I think you got something you want to say.
So I follow Chris Jericho on social media.
You see him show up to my kid a few days ago?
I did.
Shout out to Chris Jericho showing my daughter some love. That was cool.
So yesterday, I think he said he was flying out to a house show for WWE. And we all know, like, Jericho not being on WWE TV is, like, hurtful for all of us because he's amazing. I think he shows up sometime soon just to, like, because clearly he's still on his summer tour with his band, and they're doing really well with that. So maybe he just appears a couple times on TV, like, just to, like, boost ratings because he is so great. So, yeah. I mean, I just saw that, what's it called? The ride-along with Jericho and Kevin Owens.
How was that?
Came out. It was really funny. And it was also really funny because they always put like the 2 different cars. So one was Owens and Jericho, and the other one was super weird. It was Nia Jax, Tom Phillips, and Corey Graves, and that was super hilarious. Definitely watch it.
All right, I'm gonna watch that.
It was really weird.
I'd like to see Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, not in their roles, just no kayfabe. As much as I love kayfabe, like keeping up with the characters outside of when the cameras are rolling, even though the cameras are still rolling. You guys know what I'm saying at the end of the day.
They're a little looser with the character stuff on Ride Along because they're telling stories and talking about
they're just hanging out normal. Just like Table of Three. I love Table of Three. It's just so short. Like, it's like 20 minutes long. And
so it's Ride Along. I don't like that.
It's like they edit out so much stuff. You already know, Let's talk about so wait a minute. Where were we? Oh, we were talking about John Cena. So what is your prediction for John Cena next week? What do you think he's going to do? I said mine, that he's going to maybe weigh out his options, maybe do that. Or if he enters that Royal Rumble, I think he'll win that. What do you guys think?
I got to throw out that I'm checking on the Fozzy website right now, and his tour ended June 24th.
Yeah, I heard it's a very short tour.
October 27th through almost Thanksgiving. So technically, what is the day? The 28th. He'll be at that pay-per-view at a Battleground, I bet, or on SmackDown for the Battle Royal on Tuesday. John and Chris will be back because he's off tour.
Imagine if he shows up at SmackDown.
Because he's off tour now. His last date was 4 days ago.
That'd be huge if you heard that music come in.
Interesting.
I would love it.
Kevin Owens' face would be like, oh.
So with this, I got to say, Chris will be a Tuesday night, and he will win and be the number 1 contender for Owens' belt. And then John will just do some promo and announce that, he's going to jump back and forth between Raw and SmackDown because, he's doing his TV shows and his movies, and he's pretty much a part-timer now, even though he's not officially part-time contract, but he's close to that.
Yeah.
So John, I think, will just be a promo and I bet you Nikki might be there too, since her rehab's about done for her neck.
Well, she could be there and not wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have that whole engagement thing they did live on TV during WrestleMania. So they may show up like that. Who knows?
It'd be super
but then they would advertise them together, I think.
Nah, I don't think so. John Cena's name is way bigger than Nikki Bella's name. But I think, oh my God, I don't like this just popped in my head. They got engaged on a pay-per-view. What if they get married on a pay-per-view? That would be the biggest waste of time ever.
That's a piss break right there. What do you guys think about so what do you guys think of the women's match, the women's Money in the Bank Part 2? Clint.
Go ahead, Clint.
Go ahead, Clint.
I thought it was a better match than the first match in terms of quality. So. It was a better match.
They were a lot rougher in this second.
Oh, yeah. They were rougher.
And I wasn't expecting that.
And I was glad that it was won without really interference for the most part, you know. It was pretty much a clean win for Carmella, so that was good. But if you noticed again during this match, I think it was Carmella and Becky Lynch both tried to pick up the ladders, like both of them, and they barely could. Like they were struggling bad
when they lifted
with those ladders.
The ladder up, right?
Yeah, they were. I think both those girls were struggling.
Yeah, but they panned the
almost
camera.
Felt sorry for them.
They panned the camera up to Carmella was up top, correct? When that was going on, when they lifted the ladder and they moved the ladder.
Well, I'm just.
You're talking about different.
The ladder was like on top of the top rope, just laying there, and then they'd have to pick it up and just like pull it up.
Yeah, they were kind of using the rope.
Like both.
Uh-huh.
Both of them, they couldn't really do it. Like actually, I think it was the Carmella. Whenever she did it first, I thought she was going to have to just say screw it and give it up because she was having lots of problems. So I think they need to look at that, possibly lighter ladders or briefcase not so damn high because that spot just looked bad.
I think they need to lower the briefcase for the girls. But the thing is, I think these girls don't want to hear that. They want to do exactly what the men are doing, women's revolution and all that stuff. But I just think safety-wise, they need to lower it a little bit and maybe make the ladders a little bit shorter because they're having a lot of trouble moving it. And there was a lot of times where you could see there was one spot where I think Carmella was up top, and then they lifted the ladder. They moved it over. Someone was up top.
Yeah, that's right.
And they moved it. They panned the camera up, and they didn't show the people lifting the cameras. You know, they may have been really struggling. That's why. I was wondering why they didn't show like both shots. You know, show a shot up top with the ladder moving, and then keep hitting us back and forth with the two girls moving it. But they just kept it on. I'm pretty sure it's Carmella. If it's someone else, you know, my apologies. But they kept it on the girl who was on the top while they moved the ladder. I thought it was great. I love the finish. And we all knew Carmella was with. Did you?
Oh,
yeah. It was. Yeah. It had to be Carmella because it's that's just old school wrestling. Like, you know, if you have any kind of smarts to it, you should know Carmella was going to win that. You know. But I enjoyed it, and I'm happy Carmella won. Definitely happy. I wouldn't have liked it if it was any other way. I liked how Ellsworth came back. That was fun.
I can't stand that dude.
I know you don't. I know you're not
can't stand
Ellsworth guy.
Brian should have fired him. You know how he said, "I should fire you," and I was like, "Yes," but then he did it. I was, damn it, fire that no chin looking guy. I can't stand
Jay McCoy just asked us a question. Who do you think cuts the best promos? We'll say now, or like in general, we'll say. Through all of wrestling.
Oh, all of wrestling. Crap. Well, I'm too young to really go too far back. I'm gonna say between The Rock and Stone Cold. That's what I'm gonna say. They cut some of the best promos. Even Vince cut amazing promos.
Yeah. I would agree with you and add like Mick Foley definitely. I think he has some fantastic work. I'm trying to think. Macho Man. I mean, come on. Macho Man had great promos.
Oh, Ric Flair. How do I forget
Yeah,
Ric
Ric Flair.
Oh, my God.
Ultimate Warrior was fucking out of his mind, and I loved every minute of it. Who do you think? Name some names, Clint.
One of the best that I remember was the APA. They cut some hell of a promos, the APA. Trying to go back pre-Attitude era.
Oh, Jake the Snake Roberts is fantastic, too. He was amazing. He cut some really crazy promos. I love Jake the Snake.
Promos back 20 years ago were better than they are now by leaps and bounds, except for people like Bray Wyatt is like a god on the microphone. Of course, AJ's really good.
I'm tired of his mumbo jumbo shit now. Like,
I still like it, man. I
like it, but I think it's because you know what it is. WWE ruined that fucking squad for me. Excuse my language again. I'm really trying not to curse on these things, and I'm sure by the time we're at episode 5, you won't hear as much cursing. Let's hope. But I'm just so upset how they broke up that faction. Like, Luke Harper is so great, and they ruined him right now. And Eric Rowan, he's not really that great, but he looked good with the other two, you know, playing the background, just as a goon. He's just that goon, you know, in the background. He's a goon.
Yeah.
So it was so cool. Like, remember when they first were introducing them, and it was so great, and there was just no reason to break that up. So, like, when I hear Bray talking now, and he's by himself, and, like, I'm just like, dude, just shut up, man. Like, I'm sorry. That's just me. I'm tired of hearing, oh, the sun and the sun and the goats and this and that. And,
hell yeah.
like,
That's awesome.
That Bo Wyatt needs to happen.
Nah, that's not happening. I thought about it because I know you've been talking about it on Twitter. He's staying with The Miz, but the look.
Yo, look at this guy. Look at him, okay? It's coming.
I mean, they're brothers, for Christ's sake, you know?
Within a year less, there's going to be Bo and Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt brothers. Just, oh, yeah.
You're my long-lost brother.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Wyatts against the Hardys. There you go. Broken Hardys against the Wyatts.
And that,
you know, they were doing that smack on Twitter like a year or two ago, and that's going to happen. It's happening. It doesn't need to be for a belt. That's happening.
I really miss the broken Matt Hardy gimmick. I mean, we talk about this every week, but it's worth talking about every week. It's just, come on already, right?
Oh, can we bring up how you were communicating with Matt's wife on Twitter a couple days ago?
Let's talk about
she's a friend of mine, though. Don't make it like anything.
No, like that. It's just that tell us what it's like to be in communication with Matt Hardy's family. Like, what's it feel like to know that they respect you enough to talk to you on Twitter?
I mean, I've known Rebby for probably like almost 10 years, maybe. So, I mean, but I haven't heard from Rebby in a while. I haven't spoken to her at all for good 4 years, you know. I mean, she gets married now, so she's a family woman, and I'm a family guy. I got my own family too, kids. But we were laughing over old times with a funny photo of us at the club, you know, a long time ago. It's a photo of me, her, and this old dude we saw at a club. We were all partying in New York City, and we seen this old dude who he looked like he was like 80 years old. So we were like, we gotta take a picture. That's the old man in the club. Like, that's the actual old man in the club. So we took that picture, man. It was fun. I used to go clubbing with her all the time before, when she was single, of course, you know. So she's a good chick.
That picture was hilarious, man.
It is a good picture.
That old dude.
Yeah, I've got tons of photos because she's into photography and whatnot. She does a lot of photography and a lot of stuff for Matt Hardy. I'm sure she did a lot of behind the scenes stuff with like all that stuff that was going on in TNA too, because she's like really talented with arts and whatnot. So shout out to Rebby, and congratulations on the new baby. I've seen so many photos. The kid is cute, you know.
Yeah, Matt. He put up one yesterday of him and then his two kids. They were watching a movie.
Oh yeah, I seen that one. I seen one
And-
today with the two boys laying. Definitely, it's gonna be cool when they get older. I hope they wrestle. You know,
We'll have the
That'd be
broken
awesome.
family.
the Hardys
freaking
part
awesome.
too. I think, I think that's why the Hardys like the Young Bucks too. They remind them a lot of them because they show a lot of love to the Young Bucks. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I would like to see those guys go to WWE eventually with Kenny Omega and them. But we'll see.
They will eventually, but I think right now they're making way too much in the independent scene to maybe take a pay cut to go to WWE because those dudes are raking in the cash.
Yeah, they're making a ton of money. And
They're raking in the
they're
cash.
selling tons of merchandise. Tons of it. And that's where the big bucks are. Want to think, what else is there to talk about? We talked about the match, right? We talked about the Money in the Bank match, right?
Yeah.
What is there anything else to talk about with this week in wrestling as far as the two shows? We pretty
There's
much
the Lana match where she went on Twitter today and she wants a rematch again now.
for three consecutive weeks now.
Yeah, she's asking for a third chance now since she lost last Tuesday night. Got her ass kicked.
Oh, you know who we didn't mention too? Cuts great promos. Jay just wrote in the comments. Jericho. Yeah, Jericho's fantastic.
Oh,
yeah. Jericho was really, really great, man. I think that the new version of Jericho was his best work. That's me personally.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm like, I can't wait for him to come back. I hope they put the belt on him when he comes back.
I think him and Kevin Owens, like, that was just a magical combination right there.
Yeah, I could watch those guys forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I wish they waited maybe one more week before they did that breakup. But I mean, just because I enjoyed them as like how they were, you know. But that friendship thing was classic. That's a classic, future classic, you know.
The only annoying thing was, like, on that whole episode of that ride along, they were like, before the Festival of Friendship, this was recorded. I'm like, that's probably bullshit. So, like, just cut that. I mean, it's like,
yeah, we gotta watch that. Quint, did you see that or no?
Yes, yeah. I watched it a couple nights ago. Yeah.
So I think we're done here. I think we're done. If anyone has any quick questions or anything you want to speak about real quick, we'll give you a second. You want to type it in? We got some viewers in here. Shout out to everyone that's watching live right now. We really appreciate it. You know, this is new for us. Something, as I was saying, we just enjoy just for fun. Shout out to Say With Your Kicks. Shout out to Jay. Let's see. Looking at the comments. Shout out to Jay Mack. And another thing I want to speak about. Do you guys see ever the New Day breaking up?
This year, no.
I don't foresee it. Like, not in the near future, no.
No.
Now, do you feel they should ever break them up or no? I personally think they should never break them up, ever. There's no reason to, but they always seem to do it anyway. Look what they did with Enzo and Cass. Can you see them breaking them up?
I think we need more stables, not less. We need, like, real stables, 3 or more people together. Like a faction. Like, that was some of the best stuff that happened in wrestling was between stables. Got NWO, DX, so on. You know some more. I mean,
definitely. 4 Horsemen, you know.
There you go. Like, I don't understand why they took that dynamic completely out. They need to bring it back because we need, like, a dominant stable. They had Nexus, they had Evolution, even the Authority was
the Shield.
The Shield.
They had the club for like a hot 3 weeks. And they just broke them up.
Broke that up.
The club beats up John Cena, and then that's it.
They got those guys, I thought, to place them with AJ Styles, and then they did what they did. It was so dumb. I just don't get it at all. I want to see them together, or they really got to do something with Finn Balor. I know I keep going every week. Finn almost got away from me this week as far as me dogging him. Like, they saved him this week. They put him with the Hardy Boys. You really can't say nothing bad when you're with the Hardy Boys. But that man, he needs to be in a faction with the club. I think that this Balor club, if they're not going to put AJ with the boys, they need to do this with Finn and the boys. What do you think?
I think it'd be even better if it was AJ, Finn, and the boys for the real club, and they just wreck everybody. But that's just me. That won't happen, though.
It's not going to happen, and Finn is going to eventually – he's just sinking to me. I think he's just sinking and sinking. It's quicksand. But he should be in 205 Live. He's so tiny. If you really look at him, I don't know.
Somebody said Xavier Woods should be in 205 Live, and he was like, actually, I weigh 216 pounds. So I'll never be in 205 Live.
Do you see the New Day getting the belts in the next month or so?
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Wait
for a big pay-per-view.
Wait for a big one, yeah. Wait for a big one, in my opinion.
What do you think is going to happen with Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley?
I mean, WWE didn't even think their match was worth putting on TV, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of them, but I know a lot of people are talking about them breaking up. So as far as a whole storyline with them beefing with each other, which I personally could care less about, but
I like Zack Ryder, but Mojo is terrible.
I think Mojo's improved a lot, though.
He's just so boring.
He needs to not be so hype. it's
annoying.
It's
annoying.
He needs to not be his gimmick at all.
It's overdone. All that hype shit, you need to throw that shit in the garbage. Sorry, I'm trying not to curse again. I'm really working on it. You got to throw that in the garbage. All the hype. When he's like going crazy, and it's overdone. No one wants to watch stuff that's overdone. It just, to me, it's just stupid. So I hope that I don't even really care about it. At the end of the day, I was just thinking of something to talk about real quick. I think that's going to wrap up today's episode. Guys, plug what you got going on. We'll start with Nate. Go ahead, bro.
All right. Check me out on youtube.com/Nate Serpent. Serpent spelled SERPANT. Here's a little preview for what you can see on my channel coming up in the next few days. And one more.
My bad. I mean, the noises go back to.
There you go.
Wait a minute. Show that box again. We got to just stop.
All right. I got this little.
Is that the Calabasas? Don't tell me about the Calabasas.
I didn't buy anything anyway. But check me out also on Instagram at Nate.Serpent, SERPANT. Or is it underscore? It's underscore, not a dot. Underscore. Go there. Join up. Do all that stuff. Subscribe.
I got something else I want to talk about. But I want you to do your plug real quick, Clint, so that people stay, so they can hear your plug. I got something good we'll talk about. Go ahead, bro. Catch
YouTube.
me outside.
Franchise Kicks, which is youtube.com/franchise kicks. Upload 3 to 4 times a week, sneaker crap and more.
And that will be in the description box. It already is actually in the description box.
And then Twitter at Franchise Kicks, Instagram at Franchise Kicks. Hit me up if you want to talk or rant or cuss me out. It's all good. So I'll be uploading a video tonight here in about an hour and a half. It's going to be just a shoe unboxing, so you might like it, you might not.
And subscribe here. This is my channel, so subscribe here. Please hit the thumbs up button. And don't forget, we're here every single Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you didn't watch last week's episode, it was a lot of fun. And there was some funny moments, especially with Jinder Mahal. We got Pikachu, Pika in the building. Now, did you guys hear about this whole situation with, damn it, the hell. I forgot now his name. Jim Cornette and Vince Russo. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about it.
So Jim Cornette and Vince Russo have been going at it for a while, and Jim Cornette like kind of challenged him to a fight, and it was gonna be like the winner like gets to pick which charity to donate to and all types of stuff. So there's been so much back and forth. Vince Russo did an order of protection against Jim Cornette now. And I just find that so funny because they're older guys. And I think Jim Cornette looks older than Vince Russo, but they're very close to the same age, I've heard. And I just think it's funny how older people are like beefing with each other because they're pretty old, you know. What's your take on all this?
Yo, they got a full-blown rat beef going on right now.
I know, it's amazing, right? I mean, these guys are. Are you guys fans of Vince Russo or no? Because people either love him or hate his guts.
No.
Not
what
really,
about? No, I don't
trash.
like him either. I don't like him either. I don't dislike him. Like some people really hate him. I don't hate him, but I'm just not into him. I love Jim Cornette though. I think he's crazy as hell, and he's pretty awesome. Even when I was younger, watching the Midnight Express and what the hell is the other Rock and Roll Express? I was so young, but I remember watching them. This is where the first people I watched with wrestling when I was really young. And I always remember Jim Cornette with the tennis racket, you know. So I think it's just hilarious where he has an order of protection, and these guys live like 2 hours apart from each other and everything. You know, it's when I'm sure maybe Vince Russo, maybe his family was like, "You got to get an order of protection. This is getting scary now." You know, I'm sure Vince Russo did it because of his family. You know, because this could be scary shit for some people, especially older people that aren't used to like the internet beefing and trolling. You can't really take it that seriously. I don't personally, but I thought it was interesting to mention. And
I thought it was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing I've seen. I was like, is this for real? And then he actually showed, he took a picture of the piece of paper. That was great.
Yeah, they put it on the internet. Also, this happened about 3 weeks ago, but I wanted to speak about this last podcast, but I forgot. What did you guys think about? Did you hear about the story with Dolph Ziggler? And he had this thing with this big YouTuber. I forgot what her name is. It's like Trisha something. Did you hear about that story?
I saw about it on YouTube. Say click here to find out, but I didn't care about Dolph, so I didn't click on it to find out.
Okay. Well, she's like this. She's this huge YouTuber. Has got millions and millions of followers. I'll put you guys onto the story. I'll DM you. I guess not much to talk about, but what happened is that he was too busy to go on this date with her. So she did a whole rant video to like her millions of subscribers saying how bad of a person Dolph Ziggler is and what a dirtbag he is and da-da-da-da-da-da. Just put him on blast, but really for no reason, because the whole thing was he was just busy. Like, you know, he has a busy schedule, and he was nice about it. He told her, "I'm sorry, I can't make it." And she just like went off on him and put him on blast. And it was a whole thing. I just didn't know if you guys knew about that, but
you know, she's not even good looking. She's not
attractive. She's like blonde, got a little weight on her. But I think he likes those kind of girls, like Amy Schumer. He was with for a little bit. So maybe he's. But Amy Schumer
is not attractive, but this woman is like 1,000 times worse than her.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Like, I just was thinking about things to talk about. So I guess we're really good. We're gonna wrap this thing up.
Actually, there's one more thing that we forgot about last week, and we almost forgot about again was Mike and Maria Kanellis. We haven't talked about them
Oh
yet.
yeah, they came back. I didn't like that how they did that. It was too short. They just had we didn't even talk about their first time coming in, which was cool. Like, you know, I liked how they used. They're probably gonna use it like the angle where she's like the boss of the relationship because he has her last name. Even though I'm sure they can't use Bennett because they were both in TNA. That's what I'm taking it as.
Yeah.
But the way that they are like presenting it, it seems like he's like, you know, wearing like she's wearing the pants in this relationship. Did you see what I'm saying or no?
She did do most of the talking.
Yeah. And he's just sitting there googly-eyed and whatnot. And then they took a whole week of them not being on TV because they weren't on TV last week. And a lot of people were like, what the hell's going on? We're waiting to see them. That song, if you look on YouTube, that song is all over the place. It got tons of views. And people loving that song like it just got that catchy, like corny wrestling vibe to it. And as I was saying, if you look on YouTube, like it's got a lot of views, but they did like such a weak way of bringing them back on SmackDown this week. Who interrupted them?
Sami Zayn.
So I don't know if there's gonna be a feud between him and Mike, or they just did that one little segment where they just had anyone interrupting them. What do you think about the future of this?
I'm kind of confused of what the direction is for Mike and Maria. I mean, I'm guessing she's going to be the valet for Mike. As of right now, I don't see her as like a wrestler type, at least, kind of like Alana. But Mike Bennett in a TNA, he was good. I don't watch TNA now since the Hardys left. I haven't watched it once since.
The way that they treated the Hardys, I like boycotted it. As much as I love like EC3 and a few of the other guys,
I don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, they did them dirty.
I'm just very confused of this angle of love. Like, what the hell is this going to morph into? Because it can't stay this googly-eyed love Mike and Maria bullcrap. It's got to morph into something better. So as of right now, it sucks.
Yeah, it's too slow. Like they should have continued on and moved on. Instead, they took a step back, right?
Yeah. I mean, they pretty much did the same promo, except Sami Zayn cut him off, and it was like the same thing, almost word for word from the pay-per-view, and it didn't advance their characters at all, and didn't explain to us like what their purpose is. Like, why are you here? You know.
It was almost like it's kind of a bad look for them, I felt.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't selling them. It was kind of just making them look not important.
Kind of annoying, almost.
Yeah. What do you think, Nate?
I think they've made, like, if you're going to get me interested in a new character, you need to do it right off the jump. And
yeah.
I'm not even interested in these people. I could care less what they do. I mean, I didn't really watch TNA that much unless it was Hardy related. So not really feeling this whole lovey-dovey BS. Just not my cup of tea.
So you don't have that song playing on repeat? You're not one of those?
I feel like,
are you part of those millions of viewers?
Bro, this is like Fandango 2.0. Because remember, he came out and his whole thing was super catchy.
Oh, it was huge. I mean, I remember my kids, when they'd hear it, they would start dancing in front of the TV and doing this and everything. And then it just sunk. It just sunk.
My fiance hates wrestling, but she knows Fandango, and that's all I have to say about that.
When she hearing it start coming in, doing a little of this?
Yeah, she's like, where's Fandango? I'm like, yeah, he's not even on this show. I'll be watching Raw. I'm like, he's not on this show. Oh, he should be on here.
What did you guys think of this week's promo with those two guys?
Pure magic. Pure magic.
You see their new T-shirt? They actually have a T-shirt now.
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah, they have a T-shirt. Check it out on the site.
Look at it right now. I might have to buy it.
Yeah, it's on the site. So I think.
So move on from the Ascension, though.
Yeah. Because they were making it like the Ascension isn't a part of what was the whole mystery, correct?
Yes. So who was the ones that they're going after now? I mean, is it American Alpha? Is it there's not very many left? I mean,
it's either American Alpha or
the Headbangers.
I mean, there's not very many tag teams left because they broke them all up, it seems like.
Imagine if they had like the Broken Hardys on SmackDown and they had like the regular Hardys on Raw. It was the Hardys. I would actually love that. You get double dose of them every week. That'd be fantastic.
That's too smart, though. That's too smart.
Yeah.
They can't do that.
We're going to end this.
Oh, not that bad, actually. I'm looking at the shirt right now. Like, it's not that bad. It would look better if the T-shirt was black because pretty much all my T-shirts are black.
Yeah, it's like blue and yellow, I think.
Yeah, it's like a navy blue shirt. The police shield is gold, and then they're in the shield and they're black, and then the back of the shirt is yellow and navy blue. I mean, it's actually not it's not a bad shirt. It's not a bad shirt.
Considering we've seen a lot worse, you know. Mm-hmm. But no shirt is beating this tee right here. Oh, yeah.
This is the GOAT right here. The GOAT.
Yeah.
Worth every dime.
I will have a link in the description box below to this shirt if you're looking for it. They fit true to size. Because we really support this guy. And we want to be a part of this right here, the modern day Maharaj. We want to be a part of that. And also, I've got my Sneaker Addict t-shirt, link in the bio. Definitely pick that up. We're about to wrap up this show, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Everyone's info is in the description box below. So if you're not following these guys, please follow them. That will be in the description box. It's literally there right now. So if you're watching live, follow them and come back next week. We're going to be back next week, right, guys?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so we'll be back next week. Hit the thumbs up on the subscribe if you're new, and peace.